When the crops failed and the crows returned, one farmer turned to a ritual no one should repeat. Tatty Bogle is no ordinary scarecrow. In the fields of the Scottish Lowlands, it stands as a figure stitched from fear and folklore. With a turnip for a head and boots laced tight, it was built through grotesque intention and bound to a bargain whose cost was never truly known. This is the story of a guardian that may have protected the harvest, but left something darker behind. Aki Brune was a farmer in the Scottish Lowlands. His fields were full of promise, but the crows came early that season. They tore through his crops, undeterred by scarecrows or shouting. Desperate, Aki sought help from the Laird of the Black Airts, a figure whispered about in rural folklore, said to deal in forbidden knowledge. The Laird offered a solution, a scarecrow that would frighten more than birds. But the ritual was grim. Aki was told to carve a turnip for the head and fill its eye sockets with the yellow eyes of a barn owl. Its jacket had to be stitched with 8 different eyes, taken from a horse, a rabbit, a cow, a sheep, a deer, a snake, a salmon, and a badger. Its boots were tackety, laced tight. Its hands had to be severed from a corpse left hanging in a gibbet, weathered, blackened, and still bound by the rope. And its heart was rotten, cut from a mouldering body buried in shallow soil. Aki followed every instruction. When the scarecrow was complete, he stood before it and spoke the words the Laird had taught him. And it moved. Not with grace, but with purpose. The crows fled, not just from his field, but from every field nearby. The Tatty Bogle had done its job. But the bargain was never simple. Aki had promised 1/10 of his harvest, and though the crops grew, the soil never felt right again. The field was quiet, too quiet, and the scarecrow never rotted. Some say it still stands, watching, waiting, bound to a bargain no one should ever make. The Laird of the Black Airts was not a villain. He was a figure of power, old, quiet and precise. In Scottish folklore, he dealt in knowledge too old to be written down. His magic was never free. It was exact. You got what you asked for, but never quite how you imagined. Some sought protection. Others asked for harvest, health, or silence. The Laird gave them what they wanted. But the cost was never simple. 1/10 of the crop, a name forgotten, a field that never grew right again. No curses, no warnings, just bargains. Years later, in a scorched glen, 2 children found a scarecrow. Its head was a rotting turnip. Its body bulged unnaturally. Its mouth twisted like dried worms. One dared the other to shake its hand. The scarecrow didn't move. But the field around it was dead. No birds, no wind, just silence. Some say it was just a story. Others say the Laird's work never truly ends. Scarecrows are more than tools. In rural folklore, They stand at the edge of the field and the edge of meaning. They are guardians, effigies, and warnings. Figures like Tatty Bogle reflect a deeper fear, the fear of the forgotten, the discarded, the unnatural. Built to resemble life, but never truly alive. Placed in the open, but never truly seen. In Scottish tradition, the word bogle refers to a ghost or a goblin, something that lingers, something that doesn't belong. And when stitched to a scarecrow, it becomes a symbol of protection twisted into something else. Across cultures, effigies have been used to guard, to curse, and to remember. From harvest spirits to ritual dolls, the act of building a body carries weight. It asks a question. What happens when the form is too close to life? Tatty Bogle is a reminder of what happens when we give shape to fear and leave it standing. Scarecrows were built to frighten birds, but over time they began to frighten people. In horror and folklore, the scarecrow has become a symbol of isolation, decay, and forgotten purpose. It stands alone. It doesn't speak. And sometimes it moves. In Dark Night of the Scarecrow, a man is wrongly killed and his spirit returns through a scarecrow to seek revenge. In Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, the Scarecrow Harold comes to life, hunting the living with a stitched grin. In Jeepers Creepers, the creature is first mistaken for a scarecrow, motionless, watching, waiting. And in Husk, a group of strangers are drawn to a cornfield where scarecrows are possessed by a malevolent force. These stories echo the same fear. A lifeless figure that isn't lifeless. A protector that becomes a threat. Tatty Bogle fits into that lineage. A figure born from ritual and desperation. And whether it's hanging on a post or standing on its own, the scarecrow remains one of the simplest and most unsettling forms we've ever built. Tatty Bogle was built to protect a harvest, but it became something else. A figure stitched from desperation, animated by ritual, and left to stand in silence. Whether it was myth, warning, or something worse, it reminds us that bargains made in fear rarely end cleanly. If you enjoyed this story, share it with someone who loves dark mythology. You'll find affiliate links in the description to books and sources related to today's topic. If you'd like to help us expand our library, you can order directly from our registry. And if you want to support future episodes, join us on Patreon to see your name in the credits and get access to behind-the-scenes content. Thanks for watching. And remember, some forms are forged to serve. Others are forged to endure.